Good morning, South Rock. Welcome to another weekly devotion of the story. This is week 19, and this is an exciting chapter because we see the return of exiles after the fall of Israel and Judah, and we see the rebuilding of the temple. And so it's a really stark reminder of the possibilities that God always gives his people even after generations of sin. It's an amazing thing that our God does here. But what I want to draw our attention to is right at the very beginning. The people make it back to Jerusalem and they start building the foundation of the temple. And when it's completed, they celebrate. They say, he is good. His love toward Israel endures forever. And they shout these praises for the foundation being built, which is something to celebrate. But then immediately after, the enemies around them start to attack them. Not necessarily physically, but they start to discourage them from completing the building of the temple. They start to really press in on them to make sure that the temple in Jerusalem is not rebuilt. And because of this, there is a good margin of time where the temple is not being built. And because of this, they don't prosper and they don't do well. And God even addresses this. And he says, he basically says, is it time for you to live in these luxurious houses when my house is in ruin? Give careful thought to your ways. You've planted much, but harvested little. You drink, but never have your fill. You put on clothes, but are not warm. You earn wages, only to put them in a purse with holes in it. And then he continues, you expected much, but see, it turned out to be little. What you brought home, I blew away. And he says, why? Because of my house, which remains in ruin. And so I think this can be really applicable to our lives. We have the tendency when we get discouraged in our faith, get discouraged in a place where we're sharing our faith or where we feel we are called to go in the kingdom, and we have this level of discouragement where we hide, where we stop pushing, we stop doing what we're intended to do for the kingdom of God because it's hard. It's a lot easier to do nothing. It's a lot easier to push pause. And it's a lot easier to even say, well, maybe this is God saying that I need to take a step back. Maybe this is God saying I need to take a rest. Maybe this is just a sign that I've taken on too much and this is the place where I need to take a step back, is where I'm volunteering or what I'm doing in the kingdom in this vein. And maybe I can do something else. We have a tendency to do this, to pause the work on the temple, to pause the work that God has given us. And so that's the question that I want you to ponder today. Is there anywhere in your life, specifically your faith, where you have been discouraged or where you have carried discouragement with you, that you can break through this cycle and continue the good work that God has ordained for your life? Much like the Israelites who built a foundation, a solid foundation, and then took years off because of discouragement, because of fear. Where in your faith are you afraid? Where in your faith are you discouraged? And how can you break through and continue this good work? Be of good courage, be strong and courageous, and continue the good work. So that's all I have. I hope you have a good week.